You're listening to Real Crime, the Movie Sleuth podcast.
Oh man, it's a boys' night here tonight.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Oh yeah. It's all testosterone.
Wieners out all night here, man. Yeah, this is episode 95.
95. We're sans Chris.
Yeah, we don't know. We lost him.
We did.
He's gone. We don't know if he's gone forever.
Is he forgotten though? That's the real
Completely. I got here tonight and I got the news. They're like, Chris fell into a vortex somewhere. And I'm like, good. Didn't like the fucker anyway.
He's actually living in the sewers, taunting small children to get them to come in.
Oh.
Yeah. It's his new career path.
Yeah. Okay. Great. So yeah, it's the Trevor and Scott show, I guess, tonight. Kind of.
It kind of is.
But we have some wonderful, beautiful.
We have
sensual.
the best guests we could possibly get.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Jeff and Dom are here again to hang out with us tonight. Hey, guys.
The guys from Cellarmen.
Cellarmen's is back in the house. And before we go any further, we're enjoying a wonderful bouquet. What is this? Just tell us what this is. This is wonderful.
This is Razgar. So this is our 6% dry sparkling mead. And we use all fresh raspberries in this one. This batch is brand new. We just got finished kegging it late last week, and it is now out in the market, so you could definitely be able to taste it at your favorite craft beer bar.
There's nothing but wildflower honey and raspberries in it.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculously good.
And I'm not I'm not like an expert on mead, but I know the way mead's going. Like, this is refreshing. Like, mead's always, it's tasty, it's nice, but this is it's sparkling. I mean, I don't know how to say it the nice way. It
doesn't have the after that I'm used to.
It's because it's dry.
Yeah.
That's what you said. It's dry.
Yeah, because I'm used to most meads have that kind of almost sickeningly sweet at
exactly
the
back.
Word.
Yep.
And it's nice to have that refreshing after instead of...
A lot of people are scared of the term mead, because they think high gravity, cloyingly sweet, sort of special occasion beverage. And what we aim to do is to bring a little bit of sessionability to that. Yeah. So that people could sit down, they could have a couple glasses and not worry about getting too drunk, not being able to drive home, not being able to take care of your kids or whatever it is that people do in 2008.
Wait, people take care of their kids now?
Well, I don't know.
Nobody told me about this.
It just makes it like, for two guys to sit there and say, man, this is actually drinkable and refreshing, like, helps so much of everything for what we do, because so many other people still are like, ooh, no, mead, it's that sweet stuff. You know what I mean?
Don't mind mead every once in a while.
Yeah.
But it's those small mead glasses worth of mead.
Yes.
Like, the market's not really ready for it, you know what I mean? And that's something that in a sales role, which is, mostly where I'm focused, is I've been practicing this thing where if I'm in a store doing a sampling with people that are just coming in, picking up a 6-pack of beer or whatever, I'll say, for instance, with our Moscow Miel, which is a same framework, 6% sparkling dry mead with fresh ginger and fresh lime, modeled after a Moscow Mule cocktail.
That sounds amazing.
I won't mention the word mead until about the third or fourth interaction, because people get scared when you say it. They're like, no, I'm good, man. Like, we're trying to get me hammered.
I don't want that
on my way
Norwegian
home.
Viking drink.
You try to, you're standing at the door, and sure enough, every time, hey, you want to try some mead and cider? And they go, ooh, and they go away.
No, the sugar gives me a bad hangover.
Every time that thing.
With that flavor, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's really good.
I am really surprised.
I've started to just say free alcohol.
Free booze.
And then they're like, oh, what do we got here? And then you get them, literally.
Hey, I got free booze for you, folks.
Right.
Yeah, I think what you said, Jeff, was just that. It's the gravity. I think when people hear the term mead, they're like, oh, God, like you said, bad hangover.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and, historically, mead does pack a wallet, man. It's just no joke.
Yeah.
You got to be careful with it.
Oftentimes in those stores, people look at me like I just offered them a hit of LSD or something like that.
They go, I got to drive, bro.
Maybe you should start offering that first.
Yeah, right.
Like, here's some acid, or you can have some mead.
There you go.
So a lot going on tonight.
We're episode 95.
95. We're here. We lost Chris because I'm really happy about that. Like I said, because fuck him.
Right in the ass.
I don't know. This is going to go weird, man.
It's going to be an interesting
Well,
night.
this is
We got to
different.
talk about our sponsors, though, before we really
Well, we
get
already
going.
did.
Well, all
They're
right.
sitting right here.
We do,
No,
we
there's
do
other
have
things,
a
though.
couple of other guys. We
All
got to
right.
talk about the Flint Institute of Arts.
Oh, man, dude.
Great place. Great. Always changing what they have going on.
I flew over there in my helicopter this past weekend and looked it over, and it looks great. Definitely, you have to go. Go! Don't start laughing. Go! Come on, go!
Yeah, my helicopter died, so I'm gonna have to hoof it or take the Prius. And we got, of course, projectorscreen.com.
Oh God!
Yeah,
If you haven't signed up yet, what's
Then-
wrong with you?
a lot, I assume.
There's something wrong with people.
Yep.
Get on it.
And then, yeah, we got news. A lot of going on.
Yeah, what's going on this week, man?
So we got the Chiodo brothers have
Mm-hmm.
announced that it sounds like we're going to get more Attack of the Killer or the Clowns from Outer Space.
Killer Clowns.
Killer Clowns from Outer
Yes,
Space.
Yes.
Yeah,
What?
Yeah, they're finally double dipping into it. Potentially 3 more movies.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, they're like, now that it did so well, studios are like,
Oh, clowns.
oh, clowns can do it. Oh, it's not a joke. Okay.
Yeah, they're celebrating the 20th anniversary or something,
Yep,
right? So they're
yep,
doing some
big
expose
Yep.
at one of the theme parks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Holy
I'd be
crap.
excited to see that. I mean,
Yeah, I think Universal's doing it has it incorporated into their Halloween show.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
what it is.
What?
Yeah. And the Universal stuff's kind of cool because they actually use really authentic makeup to the movies. So
Well, those clowns look nuts.
they do. They do. Can you imagine?
They look so
Can you
good.
imagine being well blitzed and walking through Universal and having them come after you?
I actually have been well blitzed at Universal. I
Most
forgot riding we actually rode the Aerosmith coaster, and I
Oh,
don't
wow.
remember
You
it.
don't remember that?
They're like, yeah, we rode the Aerosmith coaster. I'm like,
What?
what? We found the one bar at Universal Studios and doubled up on gin and tonics the entire day, and it was just one of those days where it started to rain and all that fun stuff happened, and none of it mattered.
Right? Right?
None of it mattered.
That's-
So I have done that before.
I actually, my big drunk moment in amusement park was writing It's a Small World After All
Oh God,
and not remembering it.
you're better off, man. Speaking of acid,
Well,
holy
the
crap!
bad
dude.
part was that the song still managed to be stuck in my head for the next week.
Well, that'll happen sober or drunk. It don't
was
matter.
horrible.
It
It was
sticks.
horrible.
It's ridiculous. So, all right, what else we got in the news?
We got Brett Cullen got cast as Thomas Wayne in the new Batman movie.
Oh wow,
Who's Brett Cullen?
Or in the Joker, sorry. The new...
Oh, the Joker. Yeah.
yeah,
Joker?
Yeah. The one that I don't know about you guys. Are you guys excited for this? I mean, Joaquin Phoenix is looking pretty solid.
I
I've
saw
seen
the
a couple
picture
of
of him.
shots. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
He looks like Javier Bardem from No Country for Old Men in that.
you just sold me on it.
That's yeah.
That's all you had to say.
Yeah, I'm in.
but he
I'm
is
in.
no Javier Bardem.
No,
Where does he work? Where does he work? Where does he work? That's not.
Oh,
no country for old men.
We got the Mary Poppins trailer dropped yesterday. I don't know if you guys saw that.
No,
Nope, not
negative.
yet.
Mary
It
Poppins.
was insane for the new Mary Poppins returns that returns this December. It's they're going all out on it. They're bringing back 2D animation for it. Like they're doing a whole bunch. Like the costumes look ridiculous. It's got Lin-Manuel Miranda as the main adult co-star, but
The one that
it
Dick
also
Van Dyke
has
played.
yeah, no, it's actually a different character. He's not playing Bert. He's playing somebody else.
Okay.
But Dick Van Dyke is also in the movie as a bank manager. And they give you a little tease that we are going to get a Dick Van Dyke dance sequence
Oh,
in the movie. So I'm like, all right, I'm in. Like
Yeah.
that was all it took. And then this morning, the big Captain Marvel trailer dropped.
saw that.
Oh, it's looking solid. What do you guys think?
It was pretty good. I don't know. I'm looking for more because I am like totally drank the MCU Kool-Aid at this point.
Oh, yeah.
I
Oh,
am
yeah.
just trying to get to the conclusion of Infinity War right now. I've got a lot of wishes, and it's looking with this trailer that none of them are going to really come true. But I gotta say, the whole pre-Skrull War might come into play, and that might be a lot of
think
fun.
we're
We'll
going to
see.
get a lot of stuff that a lot of us didn't expect.
And that's the thing is, you have to trust that the people behind this have planned this out because
They-
in
yeah.
March you've got Captain Marvel.
Yep.
In May, you've got the conclusion of Infinity War,
Yep.
and then we already know what the title is of the new Spider-Man movie that comes in July,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Which is what Far
From Home,
right?
Yep.
So. A lot of things can happen, and I have a feeling that it's going to change what everybody's chattering about on the internet.
Yeah. Well,
Just
I'm loving
60 days before the conclusion.
I'm
comes
loving
out.
what's like the little snippets we're getting from the set of 4 of who's showing up for some of the reshoots.
Yeah.
I mean, we're getting some of the big players are back on set. Hawkeye is definitely there.
Okay.
He's been tweeting pictures and having a blast.
Jeremy Renner. Right?
Jeremy Renner. Yeah. Sam Jackson's been on set. Colby Smolder's been on set.
Oh, okay, good.
So yeah, we're definitely getting them. They're both also going to be in the new Spider-Man.
Okay.
So we're going to be getting a little bit of Spider-Man Nick Fury action.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's going to be a massive one. And then, do any of you guys have the AMC A-list
No.
program going? It's amazing. It's like $20 a month. You get to go to, I think, 3 movies a week.
Where'd you get that answer from?
I got it from the air.
Okay.
I just pulled it from the air. I summoned it. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris does appear.
Oh,
We
yeah.
have a member that is stuck in the soul realm, but just for 1 week.
Yeah.
And they have now teamed up with Fandango, and I can't remember the other company that they teamed up with. The Atom tickets. So you're now going to be able to do your AMC A-list tickets through those apps without having to pay any of the fees or any of that kind of stuff. So it's going to make it a little bit simpler for people to go to the movies.
Interesting.
That's going to be awesome.
Nice.
Very
Awesome.
cool.
Yeah.
What about new releases this week? What do we got?
That's a good question. So we got A House with a Clock in Its Walls is coming out. The new Jack Black
Yeah.
movie. That's looking spectacularly fun.
Did Eli Roth direct that?
Yes, he
Yeah.
did.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd probably pay attention to that. He's always solid.
Yep.
He is. And Jack Black has actually been good for the last 5 years now. All of a sudden he's not
I can't deal with him.
He's not like Jack Black anymore.
I was going to
can't
say
deal
it's
with him.
changed, though. It's not really like that anymore.
Yeah, he's not that over-the-top crazy guy anymore. He's now actually an actor.
I enjoyed him on Mr. Show. That's how far back I go with him. Like Mr. Show.
Yeah.
It's like the '90s stuff. I mean,
The Jackal.
Yeah. I mean, that's my thing with him. But yeah, now. But if you guys are saying that he's different now, maybe
He is.
I should.
He's the new Jumanji. He was spectacularly good in that.
Yeah.
He was great in the Goosebumps movie.
Okay.
Yeah, no, this one's definitely, I think, going to be worth a look.
All right.
We have Assassination Nation, which I actually hate to admit it, but I know very little about it, so we'll move on. And then we have Fahrenheit 11/9, Michael Moore's new movie.
Yeah.
It's, man,
You guys
from what
see
I'm
that?
hearing,
I think before we lost,
I'm actually going to see it tomorrow night.
I think before we lost Chris said he saw it.
Chris went to the American premiere of the movie.
Oh.
So he actually got to do the full press thing. Michael Moore was there answering questions, the whole nine.
Yes.
So, yeah, no, we got to be all fancy, and he even had a spot in the question line and everything.
So that's why he's not here. He's all celebrity now. He doesn't even need this.
Oh, yeah, dude. I mean, today he interviewed Mario Van Peebles.
All
I mean,
right.
come on.
Oh, my
He doesn't
God.
need us anymore. We're small potatoes
Yeah.
for Chris.
It's just all red carpet work for Chris now.
Yeah,
All done.
exactly.
It's all over with.
Chris is off the TMZ, folks.
Oh, ooh. Man, oh man. Anything else that's coming out this week, Trevor?
No, that is the end of it.
Good.
So now we move on to suggested
Suggested viewing. Trevor, what do you got, man?
Yeah, I'm going to go Iron Fist Season 2. I was really pleasantly surprised by it. Season 1 was definitely the weakest of all of Netflix's Marvel shows. Definitely. And this one, they really kind of embraced what the character was, gave him a better bad guy, fixed the pacing of the series so it's not so dragging.
Yeah.
And the fight choreography actually looks like martial arts now instead of two guys that have no idea what they're doing trying to beat each other up. vast improvement, much better show, and you even get a few glimpses of the iconic costume, so it's kind of cool.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. I mean, he has the full headscarf and the whole thing. It's pretty cool. Your turn, Dom.
So, Hereditary surprised me pretty pleasantly. There was enough, like, I hate when there's a little bit of buzz or anything, but, like, went into it just not knowing anything, because that was the best part about it. All the synopses on everything said old lady dies and her family starts uncovering secrets, and I'm like, what the fuck could that mean? And
that
so
could
like
be anything.
Yeah, and then it just starts unraveling in this crazy shit, and like I really didn't expect pretty much anything, which was cool. Didn't put it together until the end of exactly what was going
nice.
on, and
that's the way to watch movies, though, man.
It completely.
You know, it's so easy to front load the hell out of yourself now before you walk into the theater.
So much.
And I mean, I love doing that with just about every film. Like, you know, and I get to the theater when I can these days. And when I do get there, you know, it's something that I really, really am excited to see. Maybe because just it only takes a little thing for me to trigger and go, okay, I got to go see that, right? And then I won't go any further than that. I won't go on IMDb. I won't read anything on Wikipedia. I won't do anything like that. I won't read any message boards. I'll just go in there cold.
Yeah,
the trailer.
I try to.
The trailer didn't even give it away.
No, the trailer did nothing for it. Nothing. It was great. And like I do the same thing. I'm like, the most I'll read in a review is the end where they say whether I should or shouldn't see it. If they're like, this movie's crap, I'll be like, okay, cool, I'll go see it. If they say it's great, I'll be like, I'll wait for DVD.
Yeah.
All right.
How about you, Jeff?
So I wanted to address a couple things. I did see Predator last night, and
so you're the guy.
Hey,
it did really solid box office.
You know what? I don't really want to give too much, obviously, because it's new to theaters, and that fan base is very, very, very loyal to that movie. So I don't want to like say anything negative, say anything positive. Just
say whatever you want. Say whatever you want.
Go see it in the theater. I had fun enough. The one thing I will say is that when it ended, it had appeared that they're taking it in a direction that nobody would ever guess, and I think it's kind of interesting. So
that's always a nice change.
Yeah, definitely a huge surprise at the very end, and could be cool.
Yeah. But is it Shane Black's new Kiss Kiss Bang Bang?
Oh, jeez, it's it was a lot of stuff. I could go on, but I'd rather talk about. I listened to your guys' Movies That Rock episode, and I was a little sad that I didn't hear about Rockstar from the early 2000s with Mark Wahlberg. Mark Wahlberg can do no wrong.
I beg to differ. Have you seen Transformers the last night?
Yeah, all right. And also, I hear The Happening was really bad, but I didn't see that.
Oh, The Happening was
phenomenally terrible.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then, do you really think? I'm sorry, Jeff. Do you really think so? Do you really think it was that bad?
I am not an M. Night Shyamalan fan.
Okay.
So for me, basically 90% of his movies are boring. Signs is the only one of his movies where I was like that.
The Village was great.
The Village I figured out 20 minutes into the movie.
See, I'm stupid. Really? I didn't.
And I didn't either.
Yeah, I figured out 20 minutes in.
And I
figured out Sixth Sense from the trailers.
So I didn't do that either. I just went for the ride.
Yeah, I figured
that's how I tried to watch
first 30
I went for the ride.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, it was funny. One of my coworkers came in and was like, and this is back before everybody had the internet. And he came in and he's like, have you seen that trailer for The Sixth Sense? I'm like, yeah, the one where Bruce Willis is the dead guy.
Yeah.
And they're like,
what a dick.
And they're like, why do you say he's the dead guy? And I'm like, it's obvious. The kid sees dead people and he's in the rest. Okay, you're right.
Unbreakable was interesting.
Unbreakable.
Signs is the shit. I mean, with you, Signs is amazing.
Signs was ridiculous. Unbreakable is possibly
The Happening. And we'll close this out here really quick. Yeah. The Happening, to me, it had its flaws, no doubt. But there were some very interesting, disturbing things that you were witness to in that film. I mean, it really kind of was like, holy crap! I didn't expect to see that. It was,
for me, that movie is supposed to be in the same category as Jacob's Ladder.
Yeah, that's not true.
I'm saying it's supposed to be,
but yeah,
So it comes down to: would I rather waste my time watching The Happening, or would I rather watch Jacob's Ladder?
What about The Visit?
What
about The Visit?
I thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
I don't even
Wait, the
know
visit
it.
is that's the newest one, isn't
That's
it?
it's the second newest, but the one where they go and visit their grandparents.
Yeah,
It's
oh,
an M.
dude,
Night
that's
Shyamalan movie.
phenomenal.
It's
No,
fucking
no,
amazing.
I'm at
Watch
a point
that
now
movie.
where I actually actively avoid his movies.
Watch that
No,
movie.
you
should see
that
that one.
movie's
That's a
fucking-
good one.
That movie is, and there's some again with M. Night Shyamalan, with him. Like that movie has the same type. Some of that stuff, some of the things that happen, they just punch you right in the gut. Man.
Yep.
It is brutal.
I'm waiting. I have to admit, I am
watch
desperately
that.
waiting for Glass.
Yeah.
Like Glass. I
Sure.
can't wait
So
for.
I just found out that Split was the second in the Unbreakable.
It's supposed to be a trilogy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got
And
it.
I'm
And
guessing,
Split's
what do you think
fantastic.
about Split?
I haven't seen it.
Split's
So you'd
great.
watch both of those
Yeah.
movies.
I know
Yeah.
I do. I know I do. I kind of have the people I dedicate my time to, like director-wise, and he fell off the list.
He's not one of them.
The visit.
So-
The visit is fantastic.
So
It's a really good movie.
when they're on Netflix, they will get watched. But I'm not. I don't think I'm going to seek them.
Back
All
to
right.
back to Jeff here. Sorry, man.
Oh, 1986 Trick or Treat.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with Trick or Treat. That's all I want to say. If you don't know that one, 1986 Trick or Treat, heavy metal horror flick.
Now, what happened with
Amazing.
that show, though, and I think we said at the end of the show, in response to your comments, Jeff, I think we did say that we totally ran out of time. We were so excited about that. We were having so much fun. So I think we, at the end of the show, we did talk about that, where we said we're going to have to come back to, like we're doing tonight.
Right.
Like we're going to have to come back to this and revisit this topic.
We
because there's
could
a
do
lot of
3
shit that
more.
Yeah,
We
we
could
could have
do
done.
3
Yeah.
more.
So we'll probably end up. We'll hit those. We promise. We're
Yeah.
sorry, Jeff.
Oh,
we
that's
will.
all right.
We will get to Rockstar. Maybe we'll do a Mark Wahlberg show.
Oh.
It'll be short,
Oh.
and we'll
Very short. So, going on that thread, as I just mentioned a second ago, we are doing a rollback as we promised.
Yes.
From our last show with Jeff and Dom, we were talking about Friday the 13th, the entire franchise,
the masterpieces.
and we just got our asses handed to us on that last show. We ran out of time, so we promised we'd come back and finish this thing off,
Yep.
see this to the end, and we're going to do that. We're going to see this thing to the end, come hell or high water tonight. So I guess let's just dive in with this thing, right? The last one, well, the first one this is the one where we stopped off at, was The New Blood, 1988.
That's where you. That's where we are now. Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean...
Part 7.
Part 7, thank you very much. I'm just going to start this off by saying my personal, and I have all my notes from this thing, but appearance-wise, Jason, to me, was, if not his most gruesome looking in this film. Obviously, the fucker's been underwater for years, so they really...
Waterlogged Jason is a great Jason.
Yeah, I think they did a really good job and like, making him look like what he would look like if he was stuck, chained underwater for 20 years, literally 20 years.
Yeah.
So that's a big plus for that film to get things going. What about you guys? I mean, just we're just going to throw ideas in here and just get it going here, I guess.
High body count, right? So
Yeah,
it adheres
yeah.
to
Oh,
that.
ridiculous
The
body
sort of
count.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
It
like
starts going up.
they just start killing people just to kill people. I think that some of these movies they just went back and did reshoots just to add more kills into it for no reason. Which
It's
is
entirely possible. I mean, I would love to get a hold of the scripts for these
Yeah.
just to see how much of this was originally written.
Yeah.
Bernie Lomax without a mustache, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so he's the evil doctor that wants to exploit the girl with the ESP.
Yes, I was gonna say the telepathy aspect.
Yeah.
I don't know where
Yeah.
that really fits into it or who wrote it in, but
Yeah.
The people who saw Firestarter and were like,
that's
that
what
might
I
be
thought
interesting.
too. Right? That's
Yeah.
the only possible explanation for that.
Because I'm pretty sure it's within a year or two of each other, and they had to have.
What year was this, Jeff?
I thought Firestarter was like 87.
And so it was
Firestarter, yeah,
within
they
a
were
year.
same year, 87, 88, something like that.
Yeah. We were talking about the high body count. I mean, The New Blood has one of my all-time favorite kills. I think for a lot of people too, because they do callbacks to it later in the franchise. It's the sleeping bag kill.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
That's
yes,
fucking
yes.
hard to watch.
There's
man.
an
get to the
alternate
remake.
take on that one that's really cool
Yep.
that you can definitely YouTube, where he, instead of hitting her once and then they show her face is all mashed in or whatever, he hits her like 5, 6, 7
Yeah.
times on the tree until the yellow sleeping bag becomes a red sleeping bag.
Yeah.
MPAA obviously didn't like that, but it was interesting.
What's funny to me about that is that it still didn't really show anything. It was just that's too much blood.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
There was still just I mean, it was obviously brutal.
Oh yeah,
Hit you right in the gut again, but yeah, you didn't. They could have really gored that up really bad.
really easily.
Yeah. but that you just get the, and I think that's what really got me was just the sleep. You just watch it. I mean, anything like that. I think we've all had to do something like that. Well, maybe we haven't. I don't. Maybe I'm asking too much here, but just something like that where, fuck it. That's just no, we didn't. Never mind. It just really. I was like, wow, that's really messed up.
It's Kane Hodder back as Jason.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
his first appearance as Jason.
Yeah,
it was
that-
part
that's
seven.
it.
Was that his first? Was
It
that
was
his first appearance?
one? Yeah. C.J. Graham was the name of the guy that played it in 6, and then so he did 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah. And then they moved on to, I can't remember who replaced Hodder.
Ken Kersinger played him in Freddy vs. Jason, and then Derek
Okay.
Mears, and it just
In the remake?
yeah. I think they're all wrestlers.
They are.
For some reason,
They are
they're all
now.
this WWF
I thought
guys.
Tyler Maine was one of
Michael
them.
Myers.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He was Mike Myers.
Oh, dude, don't cross the streams.
Yeah.
We,
Cross
can't
the
all- we,
streams.
we can't be perfect all the time. Steve.
So I think we discussed in the first episode that there is a significant level of kind of hokiness that's always sort of inherently there with this series. It makes it fun. It breaks up. Anyways, when I saw him when I was a youngster, like I was terrified. I would go camping with my folks, so all the imagery with the fog and the woods and stuff
It was
that
all
scared the
familiar
shit out of me.
scenery.
7 on is just.
It's
I-
pure.
I-
It's
what are we
pure
doing?
camp
Yeah.
violence.
Well, the
over
comedic
top.
elements, it's definitely there. I think it's a bit more subdued. It's a little more subdued in this film.
Yeah.
From the last one. But there is the comedic element in there. And, and that's where I think where we may have ended on the last show. I don't remember, and I don't listen to these shows. I can't listen to myself talk.
You can't. It's a
But
curse.
I think that we were noticing there was this comedic element that was floating in a lot, like what happened with Freddy.
Right.
And Jason was starting to become this also, this caricature upon himself. We see that here, and there's just, I think there's just this comedic element that kind of just floats through the whole film, too.
Yeah.
Well, Dom and I were discussing on the way here that, there isn't another franchise that has that many entries, right? Especially in that year. There wasn't anybody that had 7 entries. So
No.
you got to wonder what the studios were thinking. They're like, man, we're going to have to fucking kill this thing off. We're not going to be able to squeeze anything else out of
yeah.
this
What
turd
else
at
can
this
we
point, right?
freaking do
Yeah.
with this?
So I
It's just
wonder,
bodies.
right?
Yeah.
And I wonder how much they were just trying to throw shit at the wall and see if
I'm
the
sure
telepathy
that's
thing
80-90% of it. That they're
Yeah.
just like, Telekinetic Kid did good. Let's throw that in there.
Well, she was
Now
from
he's
either
in
Knots
hell.
Landing or Dallas or a show that was big
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
Of course, Bernie Lomax, Terry Crews, who's in Weekend at Bernie's. So they definitely had a couple familiar faces in there.
They
and
did because they needed something to say
Yeah.
that they were trying.
anything.
But I mean, what's still funny to think about is how well these still did in the box office numbers
Killed it.
wise.
They killed it.
I mean, it didn't matter what they did; it succeeded. Like
You
they-
throw that hockey mask on any poster or in any trailer commercial, and it seemed like people would rush
it worked.
out.
I know it worked for me. Like I was at the right age when those were coming out, and oh yeah,
Well, and just that, like you just said, Jeff. I mean, at this point, even in '88, I mean, the hockey mask was just so iconic at this point.
Oh, yeah.
You had a whole cult behind this. There was a built-in audience for these films. That's why they did so well. Because even I knew that when I was younger. Oh boy, another Friday the 13th. Well, this is going to probably be ridiculous, but let's go see it because it's
Blood and
scripture. You
boobs.
have to
Right.
do that.
Yep.
That's the job. You got to go
Yeah.
see it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, blood and boobs.
that was all that was necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably
I
the
miss the
weakest
mid-80s.
demise of Jason, I would say. The storyline, again, with the telepathy, and then her father, who's a drunk, who beats the wife, the mom. and
Yep.
Then he kind of comes out of the lake and takes him down into the lake. I thought that was pretty weak, but
It
all
was
in all,
it was such a throwback to
Right.
that first death of Jason coming out of the water.
I noted that. I just simply put that, and the ending was stupid.
The ending
Actually,
was
what am I
dumb.
thinking? We have part 8 next, and I'm calling this one the
Let's move on to that. Let's move on to that because I don't want to
Yeah.
run out of time this time.
Yeah, let's
so
do it.
part 8. Jason takes Manhattan.
the masterpiece of the series.
Fuck.
9 minutes of screen time in New York, right? Something like that. Like something really short.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's literally the most of the movie is the trip.
Right. So Friday the 13th takes place like around like New Jersey, right?
That's,
Yeah.
So what geographically, how the fuck does that boat at the beginning get, to Long Island or whatever. I just couldn't make sense of it. But
It didn't
again,
make sense.
It
But you
didn't
don't
matter.
need to.
High body count.
Nope.
Death by Flying Bee, man.
Oh, so cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That was one of my
no-
favorite kills of the whole series, man.
There's no recap at the beginning like
Oh,
the
that's
others.
true.
There's no recap.
Because they didn't care by this point.
At this
They're
point,
like,
it didn't matter.
they're like, you, and the people that are seeing this have seen them all. You
well, they
don't
have
need
that
us.
that narration at the beginning that was like only 30 seconds long, where the guy's like, "The night is dark," and like it just didn't make any sense whatsoever. That was a little hokey, but strong opening scene after that
Yeah.
with the folks that were getting laid in the boat.
Yeah.
I thought his resurrection in that one was maybe one of my favorites. It
Yeah.
was cool.
It's one of the better ones.
Yeah.
I mean,
He gets
it's
reanimated.
it's no Corey Feldman, but
Yeah.
Oh,
I loved how wet he was in that whole movie. I don't know why.
I don't know
what that
why
means,
he
but-
was. Why was he constantly dripping?
Wet the
Just-
entire
It looked like a
whole time.
Scooby Doo villain.
He's still waterlogged from part 7.
I have this, Jeff. You're like, where are they sailing from this? My first note on here is, where the hell are they sailing from that there's so many mountains and then they're going to end up in fucking Manhattan?
Yeah.
And like, so we talked continuity last time, though. It doesn't really matter. And it was like, what, is
There
Jason
is
been
no
underwater 20
continuity.
years? Like, who knows 20 years?
Right.
Like, maybe.
Now, as we said, 9 minutes of screen time in Manhattan.
Yeah.
And we title it like
this
this.
is the Friday the 13th road trip movie.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
However, what we're doing, and when I mentioned earlier, a little bit earlier here, like, a character onto himself. I mean, this is where we're taking this character and let's juxtapose him to some scene that he don't belong in, right?
No, that was the entire purpose.
That was the idea of this, and this is what, I remember seeing the trailers for this movie, and, you're seeing these badass people in Manhattan, and then here comes Jason, and they're all just getting their asses kicked by this dude. It's
I remember the trailers were so deceiving for this one.
Yeah.
Because
Do you
the
remember
trailer,
the teaser? Dun,
Yeah.
Dun, 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 and he's like on the dock, and he sees the goalie, and he kind of cocks his head
Yep.
over.
yeah.
Isn't it fascinating that when the first movie came out, Sean Cunningham was like, "I don't even know what this is going to be, but we're just going to put this on the poster." Friday the 13th, the most terrifying movie you've ever seen.
Yep.
And they didn't even know what they were doing. With this one, I am totally convinced that they were just like, what if Jason sees a hockey player, and how ironic is that? And that's like the premise for the whole movie.
Yeah.
The whole Manhattan thing is built around just that.
I remember being in a theater, seeing that teaser, and jumping out of my seat excited. And I look back, I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Why was I so excited by this point?
Yeah.
Like, by this point, I should have known. But I didn't care. It was just like the other horror franchises at the time. The minute that they said that it was coming out, I was like marking it on my calendar. Mom,
Yeah.
I won't be home.
I think this is the first one, and correct me if I'm wrong, but Jason Takes Manhattan is the first time we see cocaine introduced into this franchise also.
No.
Is it?
Am I wrong?
No. The back of the van.
Oh, no, part 5.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. You're
So part
right.
3,
Oh, yeah,
they
you're
were smoking
totally right.
weed, but part 5,
The back of the van, the punk rockers. Weren't they doing coke on the one
You're right.
on the one woman's tits?
I don't
That's a
recall
great
that.
soundbite. Let's isolate that.
That's beautiful.
But I do remember
We'll
in part
use that
5,
later.
Billy, the ambulance, the EMS
Yeah.
guy, picking up Lana, the diner worker, and he does coke, and then he gets
You're right.
hit with an axe. That's part 5.
You're right.
So,
Sorry.
yeah. But no, there is some coke in this one.
There's some coke in this one.
Yeah.
I thought that was
Now we
pretty
know
cool.
where
Constant
Scott's head is at.
marijuana. What?
Now we know where Scott's head is at.
Well, the
I
80s affected us all differently.
I just love. I mean, I don't think this is a. You said it's a masterpiece. I think you're saying that ironically.
Oh, absolutely.
Please, you're saying that ironically.
Absolutely.
But it was fun to watch.
Oh, it was a
like
blast.
all these. I mean, whatever drawbacks we were going to point out from this point on. I know we're all saying that from a place of love.
Oh, absolutely.
All these films have some great stuff. But yeah, Jason Takes Manhattan. The idea was in. Somebody said that a minute ago, like just taking ideas and throwing them on the wall, like just see what's going to stick here, right? I think this was one of those.
Oh,
true
it was
ideas.
absolutely. It was absolutely one of those where people are like, "What do we do to take Jason out of his element?
Yeah.
How do we make it different than the other ones?"
And isn't there the one where they have the radio going? He just comes by and just kicks the radio through.
That's a great.
It's a great scene.
It is.
He's like walking down 42nd or something. These punks are like listening to the radio.
Yeah.
and he
funny
kicks
is-
it, and they're like, "You're dead, slime bag," and he just lifts his mask up. That's another kind of
Fucking awesome.
moment where he's kind of has this humane.
That's what I wrote here. He starts reacting sort of humanly more and more, and like he's got these weird emotions that they're putting in instead of just dead set killer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was interesting. Man, the whole storyline with the main character I had trouble with, how her uncle or her guardian,
Dude.
was trying to teach her how to swim, and by throwing her in the lake, and then Jason would grab her while she's in the lake, and then that kind of brought to the end of the movie where they flood the sewer and he gets flooded with toxic sludge, and then all of a sudden he's a little boy again. It's like, holy
was
shit,
ridiculous.
guys.
That was the worst.
Yeah.
That's probably the worst ending in the series.
Yeah,
is
definitely
Baby
worse than
Jason.
7, for sure.
They inject her with like the neon heroin, and then like she's supposed to be on heroin, and then she's like running around and like trying to do stuff, and like I have a bunch of notes about what she's doing while she's on heroin, and it's supposed to be like they drugged her, but she's just fine the rest of the movie.
Yeah, her
And
first
10 minutes
shot,
later,
her first
she's
hit
just
of
like-
heroin, and she's okay.
and
Yeah.
she's like running through the fucking streets at full speed, and like everything about it.
It was clearly a say no to drugs moment.
Right.
Like
well,
they-
we're smack dab in the middle of that whole
Yeah.
war on
Yeah.
drugs too.
Oh, yeah,
So,
definitely.
yeah.
Yeah, that 80, that
Where
was,
they
that was
felt the
89.
need that if they're going to show something slightly positive about drugs, that they need to then go completely over the top stupid.
Yeah.
And
But that ending, though, I mean, even as ridiculous as it was, that does bring back this humanity thing you guys were talking about, too. I think at this point, a lot of people forgot where Jason came from,
yeah,
what he
Right.
once was,
that
what
he
he
was
was.
the
he was an innocent
deformed
child.
kid in the
you know.
that drowned.
Yeah, he was an innocent child. He was innocent in this whole thing, and well, as we know, this has kind of gone on for many years now. But that
I
does
think
kind
the innocent part ended pretty quick.
but that ending scene, the final scene in Jason Takes Manhattan, does remind you of that. I think too, that there still is that child, and it is a child still essentially. It's a hulking brute running around doing all this horrible stuff, but the mind is still a child, I think.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
So it's an interesting idea of that. So, all right, let's move it along here to, oh boy, we get a 4-year break.
First is the biggest break, right?
Yeah, I think it is,
Biggest
yeah.
That's
break
because it changed
up
studios.
until this time. Yeah.
Yeah.
It changed studios.
That's right. So Paramount to New Line, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
where we get Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday.
I'm going to let you guys go on this one.
No.
'Cause I've got some shit to say. For sure.
Well,
No,
I
love to hear
love
what you
this
have to say.
movie. I
Really?
don't love it as a Friday the 13th movie. I think it's a fun standalone.
It is.
7 and 8, I feel like if you're going to sort of get away from the normal just, okay, we're camping, we're getting murdered, and boom, we kill the murderer. Like, they really went for it. And I mean,
No denying
Adam
that.
Marcus, I think he was a young director at the time. I want to say that was his name, but man, the shape shifting thing I thought was really cool.
It was more an element of possession. I think that's what there was this
Oh, yeah,
physical
sorry, yeah, I
element.
didn't-
No,
yeah.
no, I know what you're saying, man.
yeah.
But what I noted here too, and we mentioned like with the New Blood, there was this element of like the ESP thing that was introduced to the franchise, and now what we get in Jason Goes to Hell is this element of possession.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
man.
it's okay.
Go ahead.
The whole mythology between like pure evil and how there's this thing living inside of Jason that comes out, and they threw a lot of stuff at the wall, and none of it really worked. But I think as a standalone, just kind of bastardizing that mythology, I don't find it to be too terribly unsuccessful, to be honest. I know that the actors were pretty rough. The
pretty awful.
performances were pretty terrible.
You're being generous.
Yeah, it was definitely rough around the edges, but gore wise, they really stepped it up.
Oh,
I
they
feel
took
like.
it up. So
Bodies
many
melting
notches.
here, and
and went to the house that Freddy built. You know,
right, yeah,
And so now you've got the same guys that were like, we can do meatball people.
Yeah.
going, we can do Jason.
Yeah.
Let's
I mean, do you remember
Jason.
what horror was doing in 1993, 94? Like, there was just fucking nothing going on.
Oh, it was dead.
It was
Nothing.
quiet.
I was gonna
Horror
say,
was
yeah.
dead as dead for like a 4-year span.
Yeah. And I remember when the trailer came out, I went and saw it in the theater. I mean, I had fun with it, but as a massive fan of the franchise, I had let go of continuity and let go of any remaining story, that might have still come out of this whole thing.
absolutely.
Well, by this point, that what you're saying, Jeff, was right on. Like, when it came to films like this, we weren't expecting a fucking masterpiece. Okay, we just wanted to have a good time.
Yeah.
and we
Boobs
said
and
that
blood.
we've said that a million times on this show when it comes to Friday the 13th and films of that sort. Like, I'm not coming into this thing expecting a whole lot,
Right.
No.
but I want to have a good time.
Yeah.
I want to laugh a little bit. I want to cringe a little bit. I want to go ee. I want to do all kinds of stuff, right?
Yeah.
But I don't want to leave that going, oh my God, what a wonderful plot line that was. Oh my God, what an amazing
Or
story.
worse.
Definitely not.
Or
No.
worse, walking out going, that was boring.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what they didn't want.
Yeah. I mean, that was the big concern.
You're supposed to walk away from one of these films with with your senses overloaded to a certain degree.
Yeah.
And not one of these films on this list even from the last show ever disappointed in that aspect.
No, they were all endlessly entertaining. I mean, to the point where those of us that grew up with it still religiously watch them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Don,
all the time.
Don, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Were you trying to?
No, I was just looking at a 1993 list here because I was trying to think of anything else. The first Leprechaun came out and Kronos. That was it in '93.
Yeah,
First
so-
Leprechaun.
The first
And
Leprechaun.
the first Leprechaun. they
Kronos,
really-
Kronos was spectacular.
Totally.
Yeah.
And
But-
and then obviously the first Leprechaun, like,
It started something.
it started a thing.
but it
for
was pretty
sure.
PG-13, pretty boring.
That was
Wasn't
that,
very good.
Yeah.
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 Wasn't very good. So the final Friday, as I mentioned myself here, we talk about there's this possession element introduced into the film, which, as you said, Jeff, that really threw me for a loop. Even the first time I saw it, I'm like, okay, now all of a sudden he's a specter. Obviously there's this, like you were saying, there's this thing inside of him that goes from body to body. So we do get to see, it makes things really interesting because you have all these different people running around, and there's this element of paranoia also. The Duke, great character in the film.
Oh, yeah.
He knows he's the only person on the planet that knows the secret to Jason, and then we get into this crazy freaking mythology of Jason, and that he cannot be killed. You can't kill him unless you're a family member. I think that's what the mythology was.
Yeah.
was,
It was, yeah.
where you only a relative of Jason Voorhees can kill him.
And that was such a new line thing at that period.
Okay.
Because if you remember correctly, the Nightmare on Elm Street that came out similarly era-wise,
Oh, yeah, 91, Freddy's Dead. Was,
Freddy's
the-
Dead had the same thing.
It was like the sister, the daughter, or something
Yep.
like that. Yeah.
And then they did the one where Freddy's the actual boogeyman. Mm-hmm. And that he just changes form over the decades or millennia.
Yeah.
But every time that there's one of these scary things out there, it's the same entity.
Yeah.
I mean,
But you have this element of paranoia through the whole film.
yeah.
The Duke is injecting that, saying you can't trust anybody. You have to kill everybody that comes in this house. Everybody has to die. You don't know who he is possessed. So let's just say. So yeah, that made that made it interesting.
They hit the mark as far as high body count. There were a couple like tips to the hat, at the beginning of the diner where they were celebrating that the soldiers killed him off, and they were making the burgers in the shape of the hockey mask. You know what I mean? Like there were a couple little hey,
the finger fries, and it was,
right.
Yeah.
It was it was interesting.
It was tongue in cheek and fun. But
good kills in this movie, like you said.
Great
There's
kills.
high body count. I noted down. Yeah, Deputy Josh, who was the one he was the first one to get possessed. I
Yeah.
think. Yeah, he did. I think you mentioned that he was possessed.
After the coroner, yeah.
Yeah, and then he melted.
Oh, that was outstanding.
that
Where
was
he melted.
spectacular.
Yeah.
I guess the trip was if you were possessed and the slug left your body, you more or less just melted.
Yeah.
your body would just blow up. I don't know
Yeah,
what the
we've
hell.
Just
seen the
one
Hidden
more-
at
one
this
more
point.
reason
We've
not to
seen
be
Night of the
possessed.
Creeps.
Yeah.
We've seen so many of these movies where the people are possessed by an alien or a demon of sorts, and then it escapes their body, and then their body just kind of withers away. So,
Yeah.
kind of adhered to that.
Hell, you can go
mythology.
to that with Flash Gordon.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Oh man, yeah, that Goldface. What the hell is his name?
Yep, he liquefied.
He liquefied because they threw him on the spikes.
Yep.
And he liquefied. That was so creepy to watch.
It was
that.
great.
It was
I
hard
loved
to watch that.
good flick.
So yeah, I also noted Joey, the owner of the diner. Speaking of which, her kill was wicked too. Like because that was like her boyfriend. Now it got confusing.
She had a
Right.
mouth on her, huh?
She just drilled her. He elbowed her in the face and just drilled her face in.
Yeah.
And I thought that was just that image, that shot they did looked really good.
Yeah, because she ended up looking like the logo for the Warhead sour candy. They just sunk it in or whatever. That was really good.
That's true.
Oh, that is disturbing and awesome.
And then she puts her little boyfriend in the deep fryer after.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was he was putting her in the. He was in the deep fryer.
Oh, and she was
she
trying to
came
save
back
him?
to try to save him, and that's when
Yeah.
he just drilled her in the face with his elbow and took her out. Man, I was like,
Definitely.
"Whoa, dude! Holy crap!"
yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody got wasted in that movie.
Oh, everybody.
everybody. No one, barely anyone walked away. It was terrible, dude. It was
Yeah.
crazy.
I've got the waitress here who shoots him with
Oh,
a
yeah.
shotgun, impales him with the rod, but then
She
he
says-
impales her with the same rod and then crushes her head.
And then
Yeah.
he said, "Yeah." She says, "Go to hell."
Yeah, that's
Go
a
to
good one.
hell. And then he just totally. And she had blood running out of her mouth and shit. It was gory. It was nasty.
It was great.
Yeah. So yeah, great. I mean, and I think I'm with you on that, Jeff. Like I don't know. This was really out there from the supernatural standpoint. I think it went too far in the weeds with the supernatural stuff for me.
Like I said, New Line was really into going into mythology and creating new mythology for all the characters in their arsenal.
Yeah.
For,
Yeah, I
for
think
the 90s.
most fans consider this one to be a piece of shit, but I have a lot
It
of
is
fun
a
with
piece
it.
of shit.
It's a fun
but
movie.
It's still a fun movie.
But it's
Right,
exciting.
exactly.
There's shit going. That movie's action packed from beginning to end.
It is. It
I mean,
doesn't
I
really
feel the
stop.
same way
No
about the
joke.
next one.
And they also set up this 10-year-long wait for Freddy versus Jason, which is, obviously we've got one in between there, but
Yeah,
people
the
forget
glove,
about
right?
how
the glove shows up.
Yeah, so the ending
It
after
does, the
they,
ending.
they kill him, they stab him with this mystical dagger, and
Yeah,
then it
the
opens
dagger.
up the eye of hell or whatever, and the demon hands come and they take him down.
Yeah.
And then towards the end, the Freddy glove, because now they're owned by
The only thing that survived that was the mask.
right.
Yeah.
And that's where the Freddy glove pops out of the ground and grabs the mask.
Exactly.
And you're right. That was, and I noted that down here too. That was, it's a great. That was a really good
And
ending.
we
I
were
thought.
waiting. I was desperate
Mm-hmm.
for Freddy versus Jason after this came
A
out.
lot of people were, yeah.
Oh,
And that wait was long.
Oh, was
Long.
it?
Really long.
But there was in between that though. There was Jason X.
which I am in the weird camp that I love this movie.
Yeah.
I love it.
I like sci-fi.
I
I'm a
love
huge
sci-fi.
sci-fi fan. I think we all are.
I love B sci-fi,
You're right.
and I love B Jason movies. So it's like it's kind of like a smorgasbord of terribleness.
Boy, they threw this thing together for no money at all.
None.
This thing looks really rough around the edges.
Oh yeah.
I
CG
remember when I was, young, I don't know, late teens, early 20s, whatever. Forget how old I was when it came out. But it was during a time where people would be on eBay commonly. And I saw a huge set piece go for sale from this movie on eBay. And they wanted like $10,000. And it was for like, a 10 by 10 like room set piece of
Oh,
it. And I
Jesus.
just remember thinking like, geez.
That's
That'd be
not
kinda cool to have.
that's not bad price wise either.
I was gonna say that'd be kind of cool to have
$10,000.
something like that,
Yeah.
man. That'd be a neat if you had the room for it. Obviously,
Did anybody notice who gets killed first in Jason X?
No.
not David Cronenberg.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
he
that
does
is-
get killed.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
You're right. He does.
He's the doctor.
I forgot
I
that
forgot
because he
Cronenberg
initially
died,
runs
yeah,
away.
I know.
He initially runs away, but he does get it eventually. And that is Cronenberg.
Yeah.
I noted that. I put that on my notes here that he makes an appearance in this movie. So, yeah, this movie is rough around the edges. The special effects, especially like the space scene, the ships. Oh man,
My
fucking hard to look at.
But if you look at most of the movies from that time, any time that they were like, we don't have a budget, so we're going to make up for it with CG, it all looked terrible.
Maybe I'm really
All of it.
confused here, but and maybe you guys are way more better at this than I. You know more about this than I do. How the hell did we get here, though? Okay,
to space.
We go from 1993 to 2001.
Yeah.
Okay, I know this. That's not accurate in years.
Well, it's the year 2455.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say it
like
goes
that.
Yeah, it's way far in the
24,
future. I know
like
it's way far in
almost-
the future.
Yeah.
I know the purpose was to more or less, cryogenically freeze him. Mm-hmm. He's too dangerous, right? But I mean, really,
Yeah, they went a little demolition man on him. It's kind of funny.
but how did we get here, though? I mean, is there something in the story that I missed here?
No.
I mean this honestly. I don't know how we ended up here, or is it just fuck it, no continuity? Let's just go here with this thing and see what happens.
Yeah, I think
I
that's
think it was we are going to lose the rights. We need to make something now. What script do we have on hand that we can plug Jason into?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is
How
really
did
what it seems like.
Leprechaun 4 materialize? How did Hellraiser Bloodline materialize? All these movies that are
Space.
You go to
they're in
space.
space and they're the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th entry. It's just desperation.
They
and
all
trying
ended
to
up in
squeeze as
space.
much money out of it.
Because it's the final frontier.
But
Yeah.
does this movie own the best kill in the franchise?
Which one?
Well, okay, which one were you thinking?
When the young girl gets her head dunked in the
Thank
liquid
you.
Liquid nitrogen.
and smashes her head on the counter.
that is one of my
I haven't.
favorite kills in the
I
entire
literally
series.
wrote that as my only kill I really, really liked in this movie.
That's pretty
I
cool.
love that one.
Yeah.
Frankly, the
I
rest of
love-
them are just pretty. Well, you get the auger scene. That was pretty brutal.
That was good. I love the VR scene. That one
Oh, yeah.
always make me laugh.
That was cool.
It was
fun.
funny
Yeah.
and dumb.
It's fun.
It was.
Well, it's a
cracked me.
different thing. It's just a different. You're juxtaposing him into something totally new. He's in there killing stuff, and they're not dead.
Yeah.
What the fuck's going on here?
Why is this not working?
So yeah,
It
you
wasn't
talk-
too terrible too when they did the Uber Jason thing when they had the
Yeah,
regenerative system.
Once he was Cyber Jason.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I thought Cyber Jason was kind of cool in
They
2001.
call him as Uber
It's
Jason. They
Uber
call him Uber
Jason.
Jason. That's the
Yeah.
name for him. Is Uber Jason.
Is it?
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go back to the Adrian scene, the face smash. Yeah, that is fucked.
Yeah, that was good. It looked
The
really good.
struggle. Now that was pretty. The struggle for that, he's trying to jam her in that sink, and she's fighting hard. She knows what's going to happen, and that looked really good.
Yeah.
when they put her
Really
face
good.
underwater, that looked really cool.
Yeah.
It looked really good in the cryogenic lab when he stabs her through the pod, and I like the way that freezing things are tough to do.
Yeah.
And you watch. That was Rowan. That was a character. You watch her just kind of freeze.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that to me, that's in horror, that's a really tough one to watch for me. Like when you watch someone freeze solid.
Yeah.
Not to go too far in the weeds, but like The Day After Tomorrow, for example, the Superstorm.
Yeah.
Oh, that
there was a
movie's-
lot of shit like that.
Yeah.
And that shit was hard to watch. So
It's brutal.
when you see that her head go underwater, or whatever that it was, what was high,
Liquid
it was
nitrogen.
liquid- thank you.
nitrogen.
And watch her face. You watch her screaming, and wham, and she just goes silent, obviously, because she's
Yep.
frozen. Yeah, and then it just no regards.
Well, I was gonna say you see that brute strength right there too, where he just mashes her whole face as if he really had to. Just
Yeah, yeah.
shatters like glass. But
yeah, but that was probably to me, that was the most creative kill in the whole movie. Go ahead, Dom. Sorry, man.
No, that's just I made me think about like any space movie where there's a freezing scene and like anything where somebody's sucked out of an airlock or somebody's in
Oh, yeah.
they're freezing. It's inaccurate, but it's of course like
But it's wonderful.
it's exactly what we want to see.
Yeah, it's just hard to watch.
They kind of cashed in on that sort of corporate greed that like Paul Reiser's character represented in the Alien movies.
Yeah.
or
Absolutely.
Aliens particularly.
Oh,
where
yeah.
that one guy was like, "Well, we don't want to kill him because like maybe we
Man,
could like
do you know
sell
what? Do you know
him
what
or
we could
something."
do with him?
Right, exactly.
That's the idea. His regenerative qualities, his regenerative properties. With this could
You know
do
what this
wonders
could do for the
For the
military.
military, you
Right.
hear that right in the beginning of the movie, and it always ends bad. We've seen that in Alien over and over again.
Every time something happens.
You would think that people would be like, fuck. Every time we try to get this thing, we lose the whole installation. Maybe we should just,
nuke them.
nuke them, or like just, we can't harness this power. Let's just get over this thing and move on to something else. Right. And I think Jason, you're right. It did cash in on that idea of now we're at this installation, and now we see Jason in another element. He's juxtaposed somewhere else now, and he has no idea about this. I don't think he don't understand where he's at.
That's what I always want to
This
know.
one,
it doesn't
this one,
matter.
he seemed the most intelligent too. Like his kills were like he's learning through the course of it and like getting like starting to understand technology.
Yeah.
It was interesting to watch that. It's like Jason isn't a moron in this one.
I think that happens more and more. We were talking about the humanity thing
Yeah.
or the learning, and as it goes on, he seems to be learning because he's in a bunch of fucking crazy situations.
Yeah.
So he's got to learn something.
Well, they tried to trick him with that holographic scene with the campers. And,
Yeah.
he ends
Oh
up
my
killing
God.
those two girls.
That's
which is-
hysterical.
yeah, that was totally fun.
Back to the sleeping bags.
Yeah. You kind of have to do that. I mean, they had to have had that scene in there for that movie to be even halfway effective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he figured it out really quickly. Like,
Yeah.
he was like, wait a second, this isn't real, and then walks right through the scene.
This isn't right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and we did talk about it previously, Uber Jason. How that was set up to me was hysterical. Obviously he gets his ass handed to him by KM, the android.
Yep.
Which I love that. Like her guns, like she's blowing holes in him the size of friggin' basketballs.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
dismantling him with every shot.
That's great.
And you see him, like, what I loved about that is obviously Jason don't talk. He don't say anything. I thought I heard we've heard grunts maybe in previous.
That it doesn't happen until a certain point in the series or something. I think we talked about it last time. It's the first time you hear anything audible from him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kane Hodder.
Really?
Who was the first person that...
Who's that speaking?
Kane Hodder was the first person that put any vocals behind Jason.
No shit.
There you go.
There's a documentary on him that just came out, and he talks about that.
Oh, it's Chris from the Ether.
Yeah. In the afterlife.
It's Ghost Chris.
Ghost Chris.
So,
Thank you, Ghost Chris.
Thank you, Ghost Chris.
Thank
Chris
you.
X.
Chris the friendly ghost.
Not
But no,
so
I mean,
friendly.
my point with that was, he's getting blown apart. And, she blows his leg off, and he just kind of looks down like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like,
he don't
where
like-
did that go?
Yeah, where'd that go? And then, he's just laying there, and she blows. I mean, his whole rib cage is gone. Like,
Oh, yeah.
It's completely removed.
Well, they blew the whole side of his head off, too.
Yeah,
That's
so
kinda
his
where
head's gone. Yeah.
I loved that then they decide that table is the perfect place to store his body.
Yeah.
Like, really?
Well, you fucking just leave him there?
Right. Like, they show us clearly what that table's designed for.
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Yeah, that's a great place. Just leave him there. Who
I mean,
cares?"
it's okay. I know he's dangerous, but it's like, okay, the guy don't have a head. Half his body's gone. Why don't we just take and shoot him out the airlock now?
Yeah.
That would be the move.
That would have been the mostly
That's what they did in
intelligent thing to do.
Alien. Let's get him. Get this fucker out of the airlock. We can't kill it.
Can we also discuss that KM, the sex robot,
Yeah.
Yeah.
ends up being the badass of the movie?
Yeah.
That guy was totally obsessed with her, huh?
Oh,
Remember
that
the
was-
scene where
that
he's
was-
playing with her nipples and stuff like that. They fall off like marbles. It's like,
Yep.
Okay.
That was off-putting.
But Uber Jason shows up, which does, I have to say, that is a highlight. He looked badass.
That was a cool look.
He looked
especially
ripped.
for 2001. I was like,
Yeah, say it looks very 2001.
it
Yeah.
does. It's
very dated.
extreme.
Yeah, but he looked pissed. Like they showed that they did a lot of shots on the eyes.
Yeah.
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 I liked that. You saw
those,
his
like,
eyes,
red eyes or
the
whatever.
red eyes,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
And obviously there was just nothing that could stop his ass.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
amazing, dude.
Yeah.
So those are that's just kind of where I was at. with
Another
this movie.
mediocre ending.
Another
For
one.
this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it was the end for a while.
That's
Until-
it. I mean, that's it. And then they finally put the pieces together for Freddy versus Jason. Now, how
Yep.
many years after that was that?
10 years. Well, no,
Oh,
after you
10
mean
years after Jason
no, it
was
was
out.
it was 2 years.
Yeah.
Because 2001 was Jason X.
And then 03 for Freddy versus
Freddy
Jason.
versus
Yep.
Jason.
Yeah.
I've often talked about this movie on this show because this is just a classic for me. See, by this point now it's 2003. We're so well into this franchise and franchises like it. As we've said previously here tonight, we know exactly what the fuck to expect from this, right? So when Freddy versus Jason came out, me and my buddy said, we're going to go see this in the theater. We're all going to bring a pint of something in our jackets. We're going to get smashed, and we're going to laugh our asses off of this movie. And everybody that night, it was such a wonderful viewing experience for a movie of this caliber because everybody in that theater was in the exact same mindset.
Right.
We all came in there already buzzed up, and we got hammered during the movie. And there was no bullshit. It was a party.
Oh, yeah.
Like we were just yelling at the screen. Popcorn's flying, candy boxes are flying, all hell's breaking loose. Everybody's getting shit faced, and we're loving it, dude.
Oh, it
we're
was a blast.
loving every second of this because there was just no pretense here. We knew what we were getting into. But now it's Freddy versus Jason. This is like stereo insanity.
What a fucking misnomer. I mean, the movie is Friday the 13th, part 11, with Freddy tacked on at the end.
Okay.
And a couple of scenes. I mean, let's be honest.
It was fun.
I've always
It was.
considered this to be a nightmare movie, but I actually watched it this evening because it was one that I've just kind of erased from my memory. Because it has a lot of nightmare scenes, and they really sort of attack the mentation of Jason, and like he's afraid of water, because he drowned as a boy or whatever. Lot of nightmarish scenes. Freddy only kills one person in the whole movie, which is kind of ironic. But
yeah, Freddy is kind of a non-entity in most of the movie. It's
I think
really,
Freddy was more the villain in this movie.
Yeah.
Honestly,
He was the
honestly,
mastermind.
I was rooting for Jason.
if I remember correctly, I think the majority of the
We all
audience
were. We
was
were all
rooting for
Team Jason.
Yeah,
we were Team Jason.
yeah, definitely.
And I think, but why? Why?
because he was the most
An
human of the
interesting
two.
question. Yeah,
He's
okay.
the most innocent of the two.
Because he's the one out of the two that you can relate to. Where
Freddy
Freddy's
Krueger was
the
a fucking full blown. He was a
mastermind.
full blown creep.
I would say
Dude,
he's
he
trapped in hell.
Freddy full on impersonates Jason's mom to trick him into going on this quest to make people remember Freddy.
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
mean,
That's why I love Freddy, though. I mean,
He's
I could
diabolical.
go, yeah,
Diabolical as
completely.
hell.
oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
From movie one, man. Like,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then they start getting all silly where he's doing his silly.
I
ass
actually
Freddy
love
lines,
this. I
but-
love the silliness. I love
man.
it.
Yeah,
But
I like it
anyways,
too.
But I think you're right. A lot of us were Team Jason. We
I-
were all. He was to me. He was the innocent of, and it goes right. That's why I asked that question, because it goes back to what we talked about a few minutes ago, where there is that humanity still in Jason. Freddy, no. Freddy's a fucking asshole. He's just an asshole. But there still is that little boy in Jason, I think, and I don't really know what he's doing anymore. He's just this killing machine.
Yeah, that's fascinating. Actually, now that you mentioned that Jason has this, he's a little boy, and Freddy Krueger is a child
Pedophile.
murderer.
yeah.
He's definitely
He's a
straight
freaking
up
creep.
pedophile.
It's a full blown creep.
I mean, they don't really come out right and say it, but that's the only
until
thing they didn't
until
say.
the remake.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
The remake, they full on said, "Yeah, he raped kids."
That's something you guys had talked about on the Freddy show. That was the first show I ever heard from you guys, actually. And
Oh, really?
yeah, for sure. Going on about the remake really pounds it home about the.
There was no
There's
subtlety.
no subtlety about the child
None.
rape, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think this movie was a riot.
It
Oh,
was
it's a
fun,
blast.
It's
fun.
a blast.
I kind of
The
put it
rave
in-
scene alone
Oh, yeah.
is worth the price of admission.
He gets all the kills in
Oh, yeah.
that scene for sure.
And they're all good.
Yeah. But I can't remember. I don't think it's the same director. Is it Ronnie Yu that did this one? But did he do Bride of Chucky as well? He
Yep.
did. So I definitely put these movies together because they're
The
just
ghost of Chris.
Yeah,
gave
I
us
say we're
the
channeling
answers
the
to
ghost
those.
of Chris for all these answers.
in the fact that they don't take themselves seriously. And
They
they're
don't,
just
man.
a whole heck of a lot of fun.
They don't. That's what made it. Like I said, that's one of my most memorable movie viewing experiences was this movie, because we just had a riot with this film. Yeah, we probably weren't. We were breaking some rules, obviously, but we had a lot of fun with it. Just watching this movie, and again, and that'll never leave me. Just going to the theater, getting smashed on a pint of SoCo, or at least getting a pretty heavy buzz going, and laughing my ass off at this movie, because it was, and this, it's so ironic, and this just shows you the darkness and this humor we're talking about. We're watching people just getting greased. We're watching two iconic horror characters just fucking each other up at every turn, right? And we're dying. We're cracking up. We think it's the most hilarious shit ever. So that, to me, I think it's more of a fondness I have for this film, just based on just the memories I have, what I associate with it. But not without its flaws, though, too, of course.
Oh, what I always kind of lament is it would have been amazing to see them take it seriously.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing, right? What if it was actually like, I don't know about redone today, but like in the moment, like what if it were all hands on deck, written to where it should be?
That would be insane.
We talked about that a little bit on the way over here, and we were just like, man, 10 years. 10 years of just fucking up that whole story. And that's what they ended up with. And I think that one came completely out of left field. I don't know that story was something that was written in the 90s, per se.
No.
But that question could have a really fascinating answer.
It could have.
Yeah.
I mean, New Line really dropped the ball. I mean, if they would have been smart, it would have come out in 95.
Yeah.
At the peak of both.
Or 97 when New Nightmare came out, or, you know what I mean? Or 98 after that came out.
Well, I would have done it before New Nightmare, personally. But
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
Because New Nightmare was really a good capstone.
Well, they really kind of jumped outside of the box with that one, too, where the script came alive and everything, and that was kind of interesting.
That was Wes Craven's New Nightmare. That was an interesting story.
That's one of my favorite
It was
horror movies.
cool. It was good.
Yeah.
So all right, the end. Well, I shouldn't say the end, but we have the 2009
The conclusion.
The remake.
the remake.
Oh, I thought we were talking
2009.
about the conclusion of
Well, this will be kind
Freddy
of the
versus
conclusion.
Jason.
We should.
No.
Yeah, we
no.
should.
What's that?
We should talk about it after that, like what the franchise could hold for the future. But
Oh, yeah, let's
definitely
do
the
that.
remake was definitely fun.
Yeah, it was a solid movie. It
Yeah.
wasn't.
I never saw it.
It
It's
wasn't.
the one I haven't seen.
Really?
I love it. I love
I'm gonna take
everything
shit
about
for
it.
I know.
I love
But-
everything about it.
Yeah, it was well shot. The animus to Jason was there, and he became even more sympathetic and interesting.
Yep.
Everything about it was better than all of the other versions of it to me.
That was my theater moment because I remember it. We were really excited about it. Everything went in, did the whole thing, going in, getting hammered, and that opening scene that you figure out is the opening scene, and we were just everybody went silent, and then it was like, holy shit, and everybody went crazy,
Yeah.
you know. And then the actual movie starts.
And then it starts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of like two movies, like a short film.
really
plus
was.
plus a feature film.
And it was
Not to blow it, Scott, but I mean,
It's all right. No,
No, you'll get-
I'm gonna see it
Alert.
eventually.
one of
That's
these
cool.
days you got to see it because it is actually really
I tried
solid.
getting to it this weekend, and that just didn't work out.
it's well
Yeah.
done.
It's-
I
it
think
is.
The kid,
The kills are great.
yeah, everything.
The like I said, I mean, it really took what they did in the 80s and turned it into if they weren't tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
It didn't
If
feel
they took it seriously.
yeah, and that's why I really like the new Jason versus the new Freddy. I would be down for that movie. That would
well
just
for
be
the
insane.
future. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Could be interesting. I didn't quite get down with the idea that he was holding like he was a captor, right? Like he had a prisoner throughout the whole movie. That didn't really do a heck of a lot for me because he's never really had that sort of sympathetic
that
side.
animus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not to say that really bummed me out too much. One fascinating thing that I have never heard anybody else say about this one, and I'm probably going to butcher the details, but I'm going to try here. So, the character who is the blonde, sort of douchey male, the character's name was Trent.
Trent.
Yes.
Yeah.
The first
typical name for
Transformers
that.
movie, Megan Fox's boyfriend
Is Trent?
is Trent,
Oh no shit.
played by the same actor. The exact same actor.
Now,
His
now it
name
makes,
is Trent.
I was gonna say, is the actor's name Trent? Because
Well, it might as well be at this point.
Yeah,
But
I
I
mean-
just thought that was funny that I noticed. I was like, oh, that's the guy from... And then I IMDb'd it, of course. Travis Van Winkle is the name of the character.
Van Winkle.
Travis Van Winkle.
I wonder.
Starts
if
with T.
I wonder if he's related
Close.
to Rob.
Yeah, and so his character's name was Trent in both Transformers and in the Friday the 13th.
And he was a douche in both.
a
So it's
I have
spectacular.
I have Jock Dick written down.
Shock dick.
Dude, that sex scene, I gotta say, I don't want to be too insensitive, but
Yeah.
that sex scene where he's talking about how perfect her nipple placement is and your tits are stupendous. It's like, oh, I was so turning beet red, just embarrassed in the theater. Even
Oh, yeah.
hearing him, I could only imagine what it would be like to shoot those scenes.
Oh,
so
yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
But
That brings me back to
Yeah.
the interview that Scott and I did, where that was
Oh,
what I
Lenny-
kept on wanting to ask her. Was like, was it odd being nude in film?
Linnea Quigley.
Yeah.
Yeah. We talked to her on the other show,
Yeah.
and we did ask her that. Yeah. We were like, did a lot of nude scenes. And, was it awkward? And she didn't really have a problem with it.
She's like, no, that was fun.
That was fun.
Did you ask her what it was like to put a tube of lipstick in her breast?
No.
Night of the Demons. Remember that one?
No,
Yeah.
that's
Unbelievable.
nice girl.
We didn't go that into detail with her career.
Well, it's how far do you go? I mean, there's like the real you want to be a journalist to a certain degree.
Sure.
And then and you got to be careful not to fall into the whole fanboy hole or fangirl hole. And I mean, there were some questions we did ask her, not to go too far in the weeds with this, but I even said, I'm like, I think I asked her before we even turned the tape on. I'm like, where can we go with this? I mean, because I don't want to make you uncomfortable. If there's something, I don't want to go somewhere to make you uncomfortable.
She's like, no, make me uncomfortable. If you can make me
do whatever you
uncomfortable,
want.
that'd be great.
Yeah, because
That's awesome because it seems like all of it embodies like a lot of the characters that she played. That
She's cool as shit.
Yeah.
No
She's
inhibitions.
Really cool.
Just have
But
fun.
yeah, back to the remake.
Yeah.
So a out of work R&B singer, Willa Ford. She
Yep.
played a character in that one. That was a pretty good kill. She was like hiding under the dock and he like stabbed her.
That's my favorite kill.
It's a pretty good kill.
Yep.
That was a good one.
And lifts her up and just like, yeah.
Yeah. It's almost
But,
like Marlon. Look what I got.
How did he get his mask in the remake? I forget. I know it was in the shed or
He
whatever.
finds it, and I probably wrote exactly the situation down, but it starts out that, like, nothing, it's in here somewhere about
Does he
how,
start
like,
off with the sack? I can't remember.
Starts off with the sack.
That's
yeah.
the whole deal.
Yeah.
If something in 12 minutes he's in no hockey mask, and then like the sleeping bag fire, which is that was what we were talking about, the callback to that sleeping bag murder in the first part of the movie is really awesome, and he sets it in the tree over a fire,
Oh yeah.
and
Oh,
so
yeah,
that's
she
intense.
fucking burns in the bag. But yeah, it's at
Oh, it's great. It's great.
43 minutes in, he finds the mask after killing the hillbilly dude jerking off in the like guy who's got all the
God,
weed.
what am
Finds
I
it in the
missing
gardening
here?
shed
Holy
or
crap.
something.
Yeah, dude, it's a great movie.
You'll love it.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
You will.
You haven't seen it. You got to see it.
Well, yeah.
It's a good one. So where does the
Hillbillies jerking
franchise
off?
go?
All right. So
That's a good question.
well, yeah, that is a good question. I mean, with the Freddy versus Jason thing we were talking about, I mean, I don't know if that would be if that would be the smartest way for them to go. It'd be the most interesting thing for me. It seems like those two now, I mean, obviously as a result of Freddy versus Jason, they do have this marriage. We get a mention earlier in the franchise, and we get a whole damn movie with these guys. So it seems like, where we have obviously Alien versus Predator, something similar to that. You cross genres like that, which had its pluses and had a lot of minuses.
Mostly minuses.
Yeah, and I think Freddy versus Jason, I think cinematically or critically, yeah, it probably had a lot of minuses too. But I think it's interesting to take characters like that and just mix them. I mean, to bring them in there. I know a lot of people, it pisses a lot of people off.
I mean, for a while there, they were talking that we were going to get, what was it? Ash versus Freddy versus Jason.
That was a thing for a while.
Come on.
That ended up just being a comic book, I think.
It did end up being a comic
But I think the
book.
bottom line is there's 12 of them if you include the remake, right? So
Yeah.
you don't fucking stop at the 12th Friday the 13th. You have to
No,
make
you
a
need a fucking
13th, right?
13.
I know at one point Quentin Tarantino was talking about potentially doing a film.
Glad that didn't happen.
I can't remember how that
Can
ended
you
up
imagine
going away.
hipster Jason?
Oh, jeez.
Well, if you teamed him up with Eli Roth, there's your gore element, though.
Yeah.
Eli Roth,
Fuck
that dude's
Quentin Tarantino. Just do Eli Roth.
he would probably be a better
be.
I mean, on his own. Eli Roth is I mean, all the Hostile films, as bad as I think they are. I mean, as far as the
That
gore
fucking
element,
gore porn.
Oh, the
holy
gore, dude.
shit,
Yeah, it's just gore porn.
crazy, man.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that'd be interesting. That'd be an interesting idea to see him involved with that. Or, I mean, why not Quentin Tarantino?
Because you don't want to see a Jason scoobing down the streets of New York. You know what I mean?
All right.
I don't want
With a
Jason-
white suit,
with a
yeah,
suit,
black suit on, a white shirt.
And a handgun.
I don't want Jason Takes Manhattan 2.
All right.
Right.
Or
right.
Jason Takes Reservoir Dogs.
Right.
Yeah.
Or
weird-
Old West Jason.
Oh,
Right.
That'd be rough.
Oh, fuck. Oh, dude. We
Western.
got to do that.
What about a
Spaghetti Western
martial arts
Jason.
one?
Oh, God.
Only if we can actually get Clint Eastwood to play the old guy.
Let's
that
write
runs
it
an
in. Let's write it in right now. It's got to happen. Somehow he gets teleported back in time. It can happen. And we don't even need to do that. He just ends up there. Jason X, he just fucking ended up in space somehow. Why
Right.
can't he just end up in the Old West for...
Just write it.
Just
Might as
write it.
well
How
at
it
this
happens.
point.
And
Just write
then after that, what are we going to do? Civil War, Jason?
Oh, boy. I forget where they're at with it right now, but I know there's something with Platinum Dunes and a couple people that really want to be involved with it, but the studios and the people that own the rights are just not playing ball, and they don't believe that they can get a return on it. Is probably
I don't know why.
what's
I don't
going
know
on.
why they would think that. Like if you do
Master marketing.
Friday the 13th Part 13,
Yeah.
and call it Friday the 13th Part 13.
Yeah.
And you slap a hockey mask on the poster, boom,
It's
you're
done. You're
You're
right.
done.
You're printing money.
That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
You're
Because
printing money.
every fanboy on Earth, if you go back to either the tried and true camp or the tried and true attempting to be serious,
Right.
it'll do well.
We should summon the ghost of Chris here to see what he thinks. Ghost of Chris, what do you think?
I think total reboot.
Total reboot.
I agree with that.
The Oracle has spoken.
Total recall.
Yeah. Total reboot would be fine.
What? Really?
They already did a total reboot.
Yeah.
Do it again?
Do it again. How many movies have they done total reboots twice of?
Too many?
Right. Quite a few. I think that's a good idea. You know,
Yeah, that'd be
I
interesting.
remember early on before the '09 version came out, they had talked about compressing the first 4 movies into like 90 minutes or whatever. And I remember like being really into that idea. And
That'd be interesting.
I don't feel like they delivered on that with the remake. Although I did enjoy the remake, they definitely did not deliver the first 4 movies, and they really could have. But maybe that's what, you know, with the 2 separate movie vibe of the remake, maybe that's kind of what they meant by that. But
Yeah.
you know,
I'm still down with the fucking old Western, man. That's got me excited now.
I'd be open to that.
I'm all about it, man.
If it's the Western one, it's got to
Although
be
I think
Tarantino.
I think I
Yeah,
came up
yeah,
with the
totally.
best one, the best concept.
What?
Jason versus the 300.
Oh my God.
There
that
we
would
go.
be interesting.
Jason on the Titanic. That's the reason the Titanic sunk. It greased the friggin' crew. And the fucking boat just hit the iceberg, and it went down. And what's his name? I can fly. No, you can't.
Oh, I would
mean,
watch it just if Leonardo DiCaprio would do that cameo.
He just gets his head cut off on the front of the boat.
front of the
Fucking
boat.
awesome, dude. We're there.
Could Billy Zane play the douche character though? That
Yeah.
would be amazing. We
Get
need a Billy
Rose and
Zane.
Jack floating on a raft, and Jason comes.
Is that hand?
Jason comes up and pulls him in.
And he's just, and then somehow he gets hooked in. He's back on the bottom of the ocean again. Or, the ocean that time, not the lake. Now he's at the bottom of the ocean with the Titanic. And then they come in to do a next part. They come in to do an excavation.
Bring
and
him
guess who
up.
they fucking find?
Yep.
Dude, we're in. We're in.
Amazing.
That's it. We're done.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass on all of your ideas.
You're out of your fucking mind. You're crazy, dude. We're going to be rich. We're going to be rich, Trevor. Come on. All right.
All direct.
Okay, well, we made
for
it.
what it's worth,
Yeah.
last time, and this didn't come up for some reason, and I wrote it down at the bottom of the list. I remember talking to Jeff about it afterward. This is going to be a nerd story, which turns cool later. But I was a band kid.
Yeah.
And I went to...
I was a band kid, too, so that's yeah.
Yeah, I ended up going to school. I have a degree in music, but before that, to get a scholarship for music school, I went to a place called the Blue Lake Fine Arts Camp.
Okay.
It's over in Twin Lakes. It turns out the fucking camp is on Crystal Lake.
That's amazing.
Oh, that's brilliant.
And you made it out alive.
Made it out.
Oh man,
Soul survivor.
I am the guy
Sitting in the studio
that
with us tonight.
that would buy that camp, and
so
just
you have it.
in the water, I would have statues of Jason like every 150 feet underwater.
Did you hear about this thing in Atlanta?
I have.
The city apparently is like throwing a fit, and they have to like take it out now.
Oh,
But
really?
Somebody made a statue like a la Part 6, where
Okay.
he's just
Where
attached
he's
to the
chained?
rock and he's chained around the neck.
Yeah, yeah.
And they put it at the bottom of this lake in the middle of Georgia, and it was discovered, and now I guess it's like freaking people out, so the city's going to make them take it out.
Why would it freak people? I mean, if you know what the hell it is, I mean, just go there. That'd be cool to check out.
I think it's great.
Yeah, I'd love to just go look at that.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I
come
don't
on.
feel like
dude.
enough people know how to swim in 2018.
Oh God. Really?
Well-
How many people actually do go to the water, swim?
I was in Lake Superior
So,
last
so do
week.
I.
It
Yeah, I
was
mean,
dope.
yeah. I love swimming. It's great.
Then why did you ask it? Like people are weird.
I'm not,
Like, how many people actually
Okay,
do
my
that?
inflection was wrong. But fuck, man. Oh my God, Mr. Judgmental over here. I think we nailed it, guys.
I think we
we
got
got
through it.
We got through it, man. It took 2 shows, but we got there.
Yeah.
But I think just to cap it, we obviously there was a lot of opinions on these movies and both these shows, but I'm going to stick to my opinion at least. Like, whatever you think about any of these movies in this franchise, they all were exciting. They all were fun. They were all a riot, man, and that's what made these movies so special. And hopefully we see more in this franchise too. And I know for a fact going into those, it'll be fun. It'll be exciting.
Yep.
I'd like to see something new come out of inspiration from something like Friday the 13th. I know people have tried with like the Victor Crowley thing. What are those movies called? Hatchet or something like that.
Yeah.
It's just not really there. I don't know if the timing was right.
Kane Hodder was in Hatchet also, I think, too.
He was,
yeah.
yeah.
He was,
Yeah.
But it'd be nice to see something like that sort of sprout up again.
Yeah, have a renaissance of films like that. It'd be really interesting to see that. But all right, I think we got it, guys. Outstanding.
I think we do. All right.
Jeff, Dom, thanks for coming out here
Thank
tonight.
you for having
Hey,
us.
guys, it was great
Thanks,
having you.
thanks for the mead. This was fantastic. Really good.
Thank you,
Cellarmen's, Hazel Park, Michigan. If you haven't been there, you really have an issue.
Get your ass
something wrong with you.
down there.
Get down there and hang out for sure. All right, I think what'd you say? Ghost of
Get your ass to Cellarmen's.
the Ghost of Chris is talking now.
It is, and he's trying to impersonate.
Let's
Arnie.
try to invoke the Ghost of Chris one more time. Chris, say good night.
Good night.
All right, it's time to movie on.
Bye.
Visit us at www.themoviesleuth.com and find The Movie Sleuth on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and iTunes.